optimal, amazing lives. Also, I should probably mention that only one blue zone society lives here in North America, and that's in Long Beach, California. They're the only ones. A couple reasons for that. So they went out and they're like, okay, well, what makes these guys so amazing? So at first they were like, it's got to be their diet. Like, their diet's the thing. When they realized that they had fluctuations of diets, they went out again and said, well, they must be getting a lot of exercise, because apparently that's the only way to be healthy. What they ended up seeing was that although many of them were moving naturally, they were still not doing anything super crazy. What turned out to be the vehicle for their health, their wellness, and their success was a combination of different things. It was 9 things in total. Yes, diet and exercise are in there in a way, but it's the collective of their society that really enabled them to live as healthy human beings. And if I am going to look at the status or the bar for being a healthy human being, I'm going to go to these people, right? And that is going to be my bar. I'm not only thinking about side hustles, I'm thinking about how to optimize my life so that I can actually enjoy it. Or else this is all just meaningless, right? So the other 8, or the other 6 and 7, had to do with A, their social ties. They had very strong social ties that supported them. And that's a huge one, because that showed up time and time again throughout every single culture, was this idea of community. We talk a lot about culture, right? But culture is so cold here. It's almost like we're trying to engineer people to behave the way that they should behave. Community is different. Community is warm. Community helps each other without being asked. Community just works together and makes shit work and makes it happen. That's right. Right? Yes. You go, girl. So that's really what we need to start creating. Community over culture. That's what I think. Now, the second thing that came up was that they all had a sense of purpose. Purpose is worth 7 years of extended life, for those of you who don't know. How? We live and we grow in a culture that really beats the exercise and the diet drum. Get this, if you're stressed out and you have a good diet, it doesn't fucking matter. You know why? Because your body's not digesting the nutrients. So, good luck with that. Right? So this is where Ikigai comes in. They're a community in Okinawa, Japan, and this community has this philosophy, and this philosophy is about their reason for being. It's their purpose. And the way that they kind of articulate how this works is through this wheelhouse. So you've got blending what you love with what the world needs, what you can get paid for, because that's important, and what you're good at. And what's really cool about this is that some of us sit on like different kind of quadrants. But regardless, you have to have all of them in order for your vehicle of life to work. So it doesn't really matter if you're getting paid with your full-time job and it's something that you're good at, that's great. So your side hustle needs to then be what you love and what the world needs, right? That's how you're gonna get it all. And there's a million different combinations for how to do this. It's really as unique as every individual sitting in this room. So make up your mind, have this in your front focus, and try to analyze what are you doing today to make sure that that wheel is functioning for you in your life. Because this is gonna be important. Or, so this is another Japanese word called karashe. Who knows about karashe? Thanks, Irvin. So karashe is literally a word that directly translates to death by overwork. Japanese has a word for dying from working too much. I'm just going to stay quiet for a second, let that sink in. What's interesting about this is these are two cultures from the same place, different way of being and getting different results. So the Japanese, death from overwork, things like strokes, diseases, heart attacks, all that kind of stuff is very common because of stress. North America, we're not that far behind, by the way, just so that we're clear, especially with technology. So we need to be more conscious now of how we relate to work and build a relationship with that. So tonight, and I've got so much stuff to give you, but I know I've got like 20 minutes left, and we gotta get through some stuff. So I'm gonna try to give you the Coles Notes version of the stuff that I go through in my program. But I'm also gonna give you an extension offering, okay? If you wanna do a deeper dive, do I have it? I have the sheet here. You put your name and your email, and I'm gonna PDF you a free version of some of the exercises that I'm gonna work through so that you can do it on your own. And if you need additional help, I'm going to extend 50% off of my consultation services to get you to alignment. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. Okay? So I guess you would say the 3 key steps to creating a side hustle that's going to be passionate and purpose-driven while delivering value that gets you paid. So this is your idea. 1, know your intentions while you're doing it, as it relates to that reel that you just saw. 2nd, know your alignment. Alignment's huge. I'm going to talk about it so many times tonight. You're going to walk out of here just saying alignment in your sleep because it is super important and we need to be talking about that more. Number 3, know your value. And that's the exercise that we're going to do today to really get you clear on what that is. So routes for navigation. I don't know if you guys are familiar with navigation for the blind, but essentially what it is for someone who is unable to see their external environment, they have someone to help craft certain locations and certain markers for them so that they can navigate properly. So what I've done is I've taken some of those principles, and instead of it being outside, I've shone the light inside. Because the one thing that's really hard for us to do, not our fault, we're not really trained for this, but it's to understand the inner networkings of who we are. And that's not uncommon because our bodies weren't really created to kind of give you a clear picture of who you are. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's going in and a whole bunch of outdated, archaic engineering that we still have that is not to the level of the cultural advancements that we are today. So I'm going to teach you some ways of going in and seeding out some of these really important things that you need to be looking at in order to understand what you're good at and what you love. What the world needs and what you get paid for, that's a totally other conversation. And I can't do it all tonight. Sorry. So I'm going to take you through my definitions of passion, purpose, and value so that we all have some common language for us to move forward. Now, passion is one of those things that's really overused in culture, so I don't, get offended when people are like, I bloody hate that word. I get it. It's just like, it's one of those things where it's like green or innovation. You just don't even know what it means anymore because it's said so much. So I'm going to try to break it down for you so that you guys have a very intimate understanding of what passion is. And it's really simple. Passion equals meaning times investment. The things that you find meaningful, if you engage in it over time and you invest yourself in that, that activates passion. Forget finding passion. Who the hell finds an emotion? That's like me going out and being like, hey, how do I find anger? Well, I don't find anger. What I do is I find myself in situations that make me angry. Right? And that's not a cool thing, by the way. I've seen me angry, it's like a little chihuahua, it's really, really bad. But really what we want to get at is to give the community an understanding of how to go about and navigate these things. You're not going to find passion by finding passion. You're not. What you are going to do is you're going to activate passion by doing the things that you find meaningful. What are those things? I'm going to take you through what those are. Purpose. I define purpose as your passion, meaning times investment, shared outwardly and received by your community as value. Does that make sense? Kind of? Okay. Perceived value, maybe this will help. Perceived value is the relationship between what you offer the world in proportion to what is needed. Right? So if someone needs your service and the need is It's going to guarantee someone to perceive you having value, enough so to give you their money. So this is important when we're talking about business. Intrinsic values are the underpinnings of behavior. Whether you recognize this or not, your values dictate how you behave, whether you're conscious of it or subconscious. And that's because we're all walking around with this four-dimensional thing in our heads called a brain that takes an image of every moment-to-moment experience you've ever had in your life. It's calculated it, and it gives you computations for you to be able to assess your environment. That's called your worldview. And your worldview is going to be radically different from other people's worldviews. But understanding what your worldview is and where it comes around helps you to be more accepting to other people and their worldview so that we can just have better conversations, right? Because right now, we're a little bit oversensitive for some reason. And that's got to stop. We've got to be able to have these types of conversations, and recognizing who we are and raising our personal intelligence will help us do that. So how does this all relate back to your side hustle? If done right, this is the formula for grit. Who knows grit? Angela Duckworth, right? Passion and perseverance. So in her book, she did this huge meta-analysis of grit. And what they researched were people in the military, high achievers, people in the Olympics, all of those guys that were achieving ridiculous levels of success over a long period of time. And what she realized in doing those evaluations was that time and time again, it wasn't talent and it wasn't experience that was outranking people or becoming markers or predictors of success. It was grit, which are passion and perseverance. So I'm going to walk you through a couple of steps with how we do this. So this right here is the Compass 4 system. This is the system that I will walk through and provide you or give you a free PDF version for you to do your own evaluations, your own internal evaluations. But here's how it works. So you've got 4 themes of yourself, okay? They are your strengths, weakly defined as your strengths. They're actually your intrinsic talents, those things that are so natural to you, that you do so well, that you probably don't even know they're your talents. But other people around you know that they are your talents. If you double down on those things, you are going to be more likely to achieve levels of success beyond your peers and your colleagues because they're your strengths. You don't have to waste time building a weakness, right? So know what that is for yourself. That'll give you a very good benchmark. That's your grounding position. The second is your values. Understand what those are. No one said a lot, but I'm sure if I asked 95% of you in this room, what are your top values, you will not be able to tell me, and that's too bad. Because this defines you. This is your lens on the world. This is how you make decisions. Interests is the third one, which is pretty intuitive, right? If you're attracted to it and you're interested in it, play with it. That's your body telling you there's something really cool going on, and you've got to get involved. Nurture that. Honor that. Fourth is your ideals. And those ones that have high values on practicality may not agree with me on this one, but I feel as though this is really healthy. We need to dream way more, and we need to dream way bigger if we're going to meet half of the challenges that we have in this 21st century reality.